and they also wouldn't accept very easily people who would present different graphs to the room. So they are not really. So when you see that the global climate change alarmists, then when the alarmists are not eager, they are totally reluctant to go in the same room with the skeptics and discuss anything with them. They are treating the skeptics as the public enemy number one, as an excuse not to talk with them. And they are also, and I think at least some of them, for the sake of their arguments, should be delegated to talk to the skeptics, just to make their case stronger and looking more sincere. I think it should be done. But maybe they are not so certain about the arguments. So it looks like a hoax. It's not necessarily a hoax. It's not necessarily a political agenda disguised as a climate theory. But it could be, but maybe it's not. But they behave in such a way that it looks like a forgery. It looks like a hoax. And what is even more making it look like a hoax, it's that they actively ruining the careers of the skeptics. For instance, depriving them of the possibility to get any grant, scientific grants from educational and scientific institutions, ruining their careers, firing them from the jobs, firing them from institutes, based on the assumption that they are public enemy number one. So because they are basically staying in the way of mending the planet from a catastrophe? I don't know, but what it's not a wonder why only the older already retired scientists are really taking the risk of speaking against the global climate change alarmism. One of the not so many institutions which have among their ranks also mid-age and active scientists who are also happen to be global warming skeptics. I mean the global warming skeptics in a way that they are not necessarily thinking that the general assumption how to deal with the climate change is so good, and they are skeptic about the role of the people, the role of people in the global warming. So the Climatology Institute in Copenhagen is one of the very relatively small number of institutions who are really against the global warming alarmism, so to speak. And most of the famous skeptics are people who are already retired and cannot be deprived of the well-earned money which they earned during the whole course of their careers. So they have this, what Mr. Scott Adams has once called, they have the fuck off money. They are not dependent on the institutions, on grants, and so on and so on. So they can afford not being a yes man for the cause. So that's why the climate change alarmism looks like a hoax, although it not necessarily is. I think that even if the alarmists are right, they should not treat their opponents as public enemies as public enemies number one. And they should, for the sake of their own arguments, they should show some more inclination to discuss with them. Then and only then we will see that they are really sincere and there is no political agenda behind the global warming alarmism.